All right, good evening, everyone. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. Just after 9 o'clock on our Friday night, want to get you updated on the upcoming weekend weather and that storm that'll be pushing through the area for tomorrow. Let's just go in chronological order, right? We'll start right now, 67 degrees out there, pretty popular number across the area. This is Port Richey in the background on the camera, Ocean Honda. And yeah, the wind's still blowing pretty good. Northeast at 7, that's at least for Tampa. But we're generally 10 to 15 for overnight as far as wind goes, and we'll keep a couple gusts in the lower 20s. There are those temps generally in the mid to upper 60s. We really don't go anywhere from this for the overnight hours. We'll basically stay in the mid 60s for lows. There are the winds. They have come down from what we saw earlier today, but they will come back up again tomorrow, mainly out of the east and the northeast. Here's that wind forecast. You can see 7 a.m., 9 a.m. It's a little less, but by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's back up to sustained winds, steady winds in the teens, and gusts up into the 20s. But again, out of the east, and that's what we've seen the last several days, right? Thursday, Friday, today, a little bit on the windier side. Tomorrow will be very similar. Most areas are cloudy, but most areas are dry. There's just a couple of showers you can see out towards Orlando, over on the East Coast, and they haven't really made it over to the Tampa area. But we've seen a few in Sarasota, a few in Highlands County, and overnight tonight, that rain there is going to start to work its way into the area. So by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, 6:30, 7:30, we already have some showers in the area, especially Tampa to the south as well, okay? Just rain, no severe weather is expected at that point. So next 12 hours, temps stay where they are. 3:30, 4 a.m., rain chances start to creep back up, and here we go. Pretty decent rain chances by mid-morning tomorrow morning. Here's the forecast model. Let's go in order. This is 7 o'clock Saturday morning, and there's the rain coming in. Again, just showers. Then we start to see some thunderstorms in the mix and some heavier downpours by lunchtime. This is 12 o'clock. That's essentially an outer rain band from this system moving in, right? Most of the weather is going to be on the northeast side of this system. It's not like a tropical system with rain wrapped all the way around. But you can see that we do have some heavier showers at lunchtime. There'll be a couple of breaks, but not much. Certainly by 3 o'clock, here comes some of the heavier rain, and with that will be the chance for some severe weather. Gusty winds and isolated tornadoes is the threat. And then notice from 3 p.m. through about 9 p.m., this is 8 p.m. right here, look at that heavy rainfall. This will be some of the heaviest rain, 2 to 4 inches is possible, some heavy downpours, some gusty winds in here. Look at the sustained wind in the 20s tomorrow night at about 8 o'clock, and then gusts will be in the 30s at that point. And then again, isolated tornadoes are possible in this. So I do expect a tornado watch is likely for our area as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening hours. This is 11 o'clock. We're starting to see some breaks, and then watch right after midnight into about 1 to 2 o'clock. There's the back of it. But as all that moves through, again, we still have an isolated tornado threat. Now, this is 2 a.m. The winds start to come a little bit more on shore, and then by 6 in the morning, the low is sitting up here, and look what the winds are doing. So all week, the wind's been blowing from east to west, and that's been blowing the water out. And tide levels are running really low, especially in the bay. But Sunday morning, especially after 3 or 4 in the morning, through about 10 a.m., we're going to get a lot of wind pushing water up into the bay, up onto the beaches, and that has caused us to have a coastal flood watch for the area. About 2 to maybe 3 foot of higher than normal tides early on Sunday morning. This is out through 10 a.m. Sunday morning as well. Look at that wind coming in across the Gulf. We'll probably see gusts in the 40s to almost near 50 miles per hour early Sunday morning right here along the coast. Pinellas all the way up, even in the Citrus County, okay? Especially right at the beaches, a little less wind than that for inland locations. Now, as the afternoon wears on, this is 3:30, we'll see an isolated shower try and push through the area with some low clouds, of course, but the winds will gradually be coming down. Not completely, it will stay breezy all day, but the highest winds on Sunday will be about 4 a.m. through about 10 a.m., and then we'll get a little less as we move into Sunday afternoon and evening hours. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has looked at this, and they say, yep, pretty decent chance for some severe weather tomorrow. It's a 2 out of a 5, which puts us in that slight category for tornadoes and heavy winds. And look, not many of us are going to see a tornado. That's the good news. It's just the chance that it's there. Most of us will see some good wind gusts. And obviously that can put down some trees, branches, that type of thing. A little bit of a power outage issue could be happening tomorrow. Now, this is the rainfall from it, mostly purple, some red. That would put you anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. I think 2 to 3 would be more widespread. And now look, this system goes all the way up the coast. It'll become a nor'easter. I think the Carolinas, especially the Myrtle Beach to Wilmington, up to Moorhead, will probably get hit hardest with winds. They can see surges there, 3 to 5 feet in the Myrtle Beach area. Here's the wind forecast, and this is just updated. Notice the gusts in the evening tomorrow, still out of the east in Tampa, but gusting in the 30s to near 40. But watch what happens by about 2, 3 in the morning. Look at all that wind coming on shore. Gusts in the upper 30s, sustained winds in the 20s. That's going to push some water up along the coast, and that's why we're thinking about 2 to 3 foot. You can see at 10 a.m. it is honking out of the north and the west. You don't say that much, right? But that's when we're going to continue to keep that water pinned up against the coast. After 10 a.m., I think the winds come down a little bit. That's about 7 p.m., and gradually that water will subside. 3:30 a.m., 4 o'clock is high tide on Sunday morning. So when that water comes up, it's not really going to come down a lot. As a result of that, we have a coastal flood watch Saturday night and Sunday morning. I think the prime time is 3 a.m. to 10 a.m., and that's about 2 to 3 foot, including inside the bay, above normal high tide, 1 to 2 foot, Manatee County, and 2 to 4 foot. As this moves up, we could end up with a little bit more in the Crystal River area, but it might take a little while for that to happen. We're going to see that surge earlier in the Tampa area. So there are the tides. You can see Saturday is a low tide. It's actually a long distance, or a long time between low and high tide at 11 a.m. And then Sunday morning, before the sun comes up, right around, 3:30, 4 o'clock, will be our high tide. That's exactly when the wind really starts to push that water up. So the water's coming up naturally, and then the wind keeps it coming up. So even as the lower tide gets here around 12 o'clock on Sunday, we still got some pretty good winds, and that's not going to drop out much. Great time to get the 10 Tampa Bay app. You want to download that. You can take a picture of this as well, too. Go ahead and open your camera and use that. That will give you an opportunity to send us pictures and video, things that you're seeing out there. We'd love to share it, as long as you can do it safely. We don't need that stuff unless you can do it safely out there. But the app is a great way to keep up with all of our updates. I highly suggest a NOAA weather radio. A lot of this is going to happen overnight, Saturday night and Sunday morning. A lot of folks are going to be sleeping. If there is a tornado warning in your area, if you program that thing right, it'll go off and likely to wake you up. So that's the good thing for that. This is the planner. Look at this. You don't see 100% rain chance on many of our forecasts, but certainly that is the case for tomorrow afternoon and evening hours. Boating, obviously very dangerous out there, rough out on we've got gale warnings 20 nautical miles and further out. 3 to 6 foot seas, especially the further off you go. It's still flat right here along the coast, guys, because the wind's blowing offshore. But Sunday morning, that's all changing, and it is going to be, but Sunday afternoon at the beach is going to be pretty cool to check out. High surf, rip current risk. You don't want to be in the water, but the wind will be blowing onshore pretty good, and that's going to kick the surf up, and there will be some erosion out of this. Now, on the back side of all of this, we get some cooler air. Sunday, technically the high will likely be about 69 degrees, but most of the day will be spent in the lower 60s. Monday, a little less breeze, but still breezy, will make 65 briefly. And then 40s to start Tuesday morning and stay in the 50s for highs Tuesday afternoon, still with a north to northwest breeze at that point. Winds die down, sun's back out part of Sunday, but more so Monday and Tuesday. And then we will warm back up to about normal by Thursday, Friday of next week. So stay weather aware over the next 24 hours. Of course, our whole team will keep you updated here. We'll have reporters out early tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, of course, all throughout Saturday afternoon and evening. And again, that surge issue will be early on Sunday morning. So if you're getting anything ready to go for that, you want to do it, I'd say first thing Saturday morning, because the rain will get heavier Saturday afternoon and Saturday night.